Tough couple days, losing the series in your ACC opener. What did you learn about your team over the last couple days?
Oof. Head scratcher today.
Yeah.
Really frustrating. We got dominated on both sides. Give their pitcher a lot of credit. I mean, he was aggressive in the strike zone, and he took it to us. And just you're not always going to get hits, and you're not always going to score a bunch of runs, but I didn't like the at-bats. Not ready to hit a fastball, just doesn't fly in our system. And we just didn't seem ready to hit a fastball. The first time and a half through the lineup, and give their hitters credit, man, they were ready to hit a fastball. I mean, they jumped on Forbes. I don't know the location of all the pitches and everything, but obviously you saw two different lineups. One lineup that was ready to swing and ready to jump on balls, and then you saw another lineup. I didn't know what our approach was. Just didn't look ready. Just not offensive at all. And when you fall behind, like that early, that now it's going to be a struggle.
Where does that come from? Obviously you're a little surprised when your team shows up like that.
Yeah, very surprised. The history of our program, how we've played on Sundays, the pride we take on playing on Sundays. Not sure where the preparation fell short on this one. We're responsible as coaches, so I'm very frustrated. But, as I'll meet with my staff and try to figure out how we come out with that performance on a Sunday, I hope we can come up with some answers for it.
What was the message to the guys after the game? You had them in the outfield a little bit longer than normal.
Pretty similar to what I'm saying here. I don't really, hide it from the media or our fans, how I'm feeling. Just had to challenge them and question them as to I got no problem. I hate losing, but I got no problem, giving credit to the other team, and sometimes they're just going to be better than you. But we got dominated today. Like, I don't want us to fool ourselves. They took it to us from the first inning on both sides of the ball, and it's frustrating because the preparation and all that goes into playing good baseball, man. There's a lot of people working extremely hard behind the scenes and out front, and to get that kind of effort today, I'm embarrassed for our fans, and I'd be shocked if our players aren't embarrassed. It's a nationally televised game, and we didn't look ready.
Do you find that that's more of a mental approach and just being ready to go from the beginning, or it's more of something that they're maybe just not seeing the ball quite as well today, or how are you viewing that?
It's always, this is a very mentally challenging game, so there's always a mental component to it, but there's a physical side as well, and we didn't look ready in both areas. They took it to us from the tip off, and we never made it a game. It's not fun to be a part of a game for 9 innings and really never make it a game. And so, as we always say, man, losing sucks is one of our sayings, but you got to take it personal. And I mean, if you can't take that personal, I don't. Again, I would hope it hurts so much that we have to come out and play. Might not win the next time, but we have to come out with a little more juice and a little more gusto and a little more conviction in all areas. Like I said, we weren't good on the mound to start. And like I said, it was two different looks. How they pitched and played offensively was totally opposite from how we pitched and looked offensively.
You mentioned make it personal. When we were talking to Will Koger earlier in the week, that was one thing that he mentioned about overcoming his early struggles was to take it personal. And he seems like that's having a positive impact from him. Is that something you could share with the team? Like, look how that's impacting him. Let's have a similar result with the rest of you guys.
Yeah, the pitching staff's a fraternity, so they look out for each other, they pour into each other, they hold each other accountable. So, yeah, I think some of the positives for the week are what Koger and Corbett and some of these guys are doing, because at the end of the day, we got to pitch the best arms, the hottest arms, the guys that give us a chance to get outs and compete in the ACC. It's not going to get any easier. So the more guys that can show us some conviction and compete and get outs, then we need all those options when you go into a weekend series. And that was an encouraging thing this week, how some of those guys came out of the bullpen and pitched really well against good hitters.
You guys cap off an 18-game homestand against Bellarmine on Tuesday. What are you looking to see out of your team in that game, especially with that game preceding a top 5 series against Wake Forest?
Well, you got to turn the page, I would imagine, coming off the bad taste in your mouth today. It's one of those, I call them in-state rivals. Everybody, all the universities in the state of Kentucky, there's a lot of kids that play on both rosters from the state, and so whether they're a fan of us or not, it's always a good test when you're playing a lot of kids from the state of Kentucky. So, we'll focus on playing good baseball Tuesday night. I'd be shocked we can look past anybody after what we just showed today. It'd be different if we were rolling, cruising, but after that, the last 2 games, and especially today, I'd like to think, man, we're chomping at the bit to just come out and play good baseball Tuesday night.
Is it still a TBD on who might take the mound for you guys on Tuesday? Or?
Yeah, we went with Liggett for the first few weeks, but usually it is. Usually it's get through the weekend. Let's see. These are usually staff games, we need guys that are going to run out there and get us some outs and compete. And so we got options. I mean, we've got some healthy, talented arms. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to getting back out Tuesday, our last home game, and then maybe we need to get on the road. It's been a great homestand, but maybe we need to get on the road and unite and learn a little bit more about our club and obviously get tougher, and because it's not going to be easy these next few weeks.
As you get on the road and you get into the next weekend with some of the starts that you've had over the last maybe Carson wasn't quite as good this past week and Forbes a little tough today. Are those still look to Forbes still kind of be the guy that you look for next weekend, or that's up in the air as well?
I don't know. I'll talk to Coach Williams. Like I said, it's everybody has bad starts, everybody has bad outings. I mean, it's part of the game, but it's just like anything else, man. You got to earn it too. I mean, there's no entitlement here. So I'll be anxious to see what Coach Williams wants to do and where we want to go from here. Because, like I said, we need to show a little more than that today.
Thanks, Dan.